Welcome to Swamp Sistas Month of Sundays Inside the Creative Mind. I'm Beth McKee. Each week we stream live performance from our featured guest and explore their creative personalities using the book What's Your Creative Type by author Meta Wagner as our guide. The Swamp Sistas Lala Foundation presents this stream in our mission to support women in the arts and foster creativity for everyone. To help our efforts, you can use the donate button on the Swamp Sistas Facebook page or one of the links in the video description. We totally appreciate your support and we're very glad you're here. And we're very grateful to our sponsors, Park Ave CDs and New Electric LLC.
It feels like I'm on the verge, right on the edge of believing again, ready to trust like I never did, just like Noah stepping off the ark. I believe I'm on the verge of a hopeful heart.
Hey everybody, good afternoon, good Sunday, October the 11th. And we're here on the Swamp Sistas page, broadcasting for our month of Sundays. This is the second week, second installment. Big thanks to my friend Terry Binion for kicking off the series with us last week. The Swamp Sistas, in case you're just now discovering us, is a 501c3 foundation with a bifold mission of supporting women in the arts and community service. We come together to present lots of events to raise funds for community causes like childhood hunger. We've raised a fair amount of money for our friends at Second Harvest Food Bank. And we also like to shine a light on female women in the arts, you know, because we all could use a little bit of a leg up or some support or an extra spotlight. So this month we're discussing creative types, creative personalities that are basically, I have a source. It's a book called What's Your Creative Type? Harness the Power of Your Artistic Personality by writer Meta Wagner. And you'll be learning more about what the creative types are as today's broadcast continues. And maybe you'll be challenged to try and discover what your creative type is. And it helps to figure out what motivates you and gets you moving forward and doing stuff. So today's special guest is somebody that I'm very, very fond of. And when I invited her to perform for a songwriters series all the way back in 2014 at the Smiling Bison that I was hosting, she wasn't too sure about performing in front of an audience, but an audience, let me say this, for songwriters and of songwriters, because, you know, she was like, I don't know. And I'm like, no, your stuff is so on point and so positive. You have such a great message. I know everybody's going to love you. And sure enough, they did. She even converted some folks who had never been hip hop fans to the medium. So I think that's even better, you know. So since then, she's appeared at many Swamp Sistas events and she supported our efforts on just about every level. She's just about a big yes every time I ask something of her. She utilizes a multitude of deliveries to issue a call to arms against the maladies of modern times and expresses hope that the tools at our disposal can be used for the greater good of humanity. Could she be an activist? Anyway, this Orlando-based rapper and singer who has toured extensively in the United States and Europe shared stages with big names like KRS-One, Wu-Tang, and Talib Kweli, and released her third full-length album, Young World, on Fig 4 Inc. record label in 2018. So I'm very, very happy to introduce and welcome to my friend, hip-hop artist, rapper, and singer, UTurn, to the screen. There she is. Hey, girl.
What's up? How are you?
I'm great. Seeing your smiling face. It's
Aw,
always.
Thank you for the lovely introduction. I was backstage smiling.
Well, you are loved. You are beloved
Oh,
by many, and by me at the top of that list. I'm in
thank you.
awe of your talent. I'm in awe of your commitment, and
Thank
I'm
you.
in awe of your
Likewise.
your skill set too. Look, it was just
Likewise.
stroking each other. So I'm so glad you could join us here today. As I was telling everybody,
Thank
we're
you.
doing this kind of thematic approach this month of Sundays, every Sunday during the month of October,
Yes.
highlighting one guest who will perform. So we're excited that you're going to perform for us today.
That's awesome.
And we're going to explore what your creative type might be and
Cool.
what motivates you, what gets you going in the creativity department. But I was going to ask you a couple of questions to help everybody that doesn't already know you already get to know you a little better.
Sure.
You are a rapper and a singer, so you use both of
Yes.
those within your tracks, performances, and I think that's fabulous. I love that. I like
Thank you.
being as having that. I like singing too. So,
That's my
but
first love, singing, and then rapping came a little later.
well, you've got both of those skill sets in spades, so it's great that you
Thank
use
you.
them both in your craft. So you grew up in amongst mixed cultures. Your
Yes.
father from Iran and your
Yes.
mother is of Hispanic and Native descent.
Mm-hmm.
So surely that has informed and affected your voice as an artist. Can you tell us how
For
that
sure.
has kind of?
Yeah, so my dad came to the States during the revolution in Iran. 79-ish. I think he maybe came in the beginning of the 80s, but yeah, during the revolution times. And my mom is American, so she was born in San Diego, and but background native Hispanic. Her mom's family is originally from Albuquerque, and they were like in Albuquerque. My grandma's family basically like got kicked off their land type ish,
Oh
and
wow.
yeah, so like there's definitely a history there. Um, but yeah, so my mom American, my dad straight up Iranian. I was mainly kind of raised in that culture. Um, my dad always cooking Persian food, and he's a singer as well. So he didn't do it professionally. He's done, some shows in his day, and I'm sure he's done some recordings back in the day, but never done it professionally. But it's always been like his thing. That's his craft, his artistic side. And so I grew up with my dad always singing mainly Iranian songs, but sometimes he'd bust out
Ooh.
some classic rock, and I'd be like, Dad, no, no.
Do
He'd
you?
like say the wrong words and everything.
Oh,
But
I
he
do
has a
that.
great no, but like this is on a different level. Uh, but yeah, so he has a really nice voice, and so I grew up with that around me all the time. So I've been pretty much singing like my whole life, like since I was a baby.
Wow.
But yeah.
So I have a question for you. So as a singer, does he sing in that style, like the Persian?
Hmm.
And can you sing in that style? And do you ever?
I love that music. It just like
I
does
do too.
something to me. It's oh man, it's like sometimes I don't even know what they're saying, because the thing is like I grew up around Farsi, but my dad didn't only speak Farsi to me, which now that I'm older, I'm so mad he didn't. Because I don't speak it super fluently, but I can understand it a bit. I've lost a lot of it, honestly, though. Like being older, living on my own, I'm not speaking to anyone else in Farsi but my family. So I've lost a lot of it, but sometimes I don't even know what they're saying when, Iranian music is very poetic. So even if I did speak it, sometimes it's hard for an American to understand what they're saying, because their poetry is like, it's a way different language, if that makes sense.
Hmm. Yes, it does.
Yeah, it's like totally different words and the way they speak. It's poetic. I don't understand like the poetic language. So, but the cool thing is like just hearing it, I just like feel it in my blood. Like it just gets me in a mood. It makes me feel so good. And sometimes even sad. Like a lot of their music is super emotional, and you can cry off of Iranian music without even understanding what they're saying, because it just, you can feel it. Like I've seen videos on YouTube, and one recent comment stuck out to me, that it was like, I'm a 80-year-old veteran from Texas or something, and he's like, I don't understand what the heck they're saying, but this got me in my feels type shit, like,
Oh, yeah.
like it was just like, yeah, that's really cool. And that's what Persian music does. It's amazing. But yes,
I would
my
love
dad
for you
sings.
to, yeah, I would love for you to sing in that style sometime on some of your tracks.
Yeah,
Just saying.
I'll do that. I'll try to add a cover or something in.
Oh, yes,
I
just
have
even a
one.
loop.
Yeah, I have one song on my first album, Dark Trust, where I say, like, I rap a little bit of Persian lyrics, Farsi lyrics. It's called Dasteto, which
Oh,
means
cool.
your hand. But yeah, my dad, so like that yo kind of singing is called
That's
cha
what I'm
cha.
talking
And
about.
so like my dad knows how to do that. And that's like an art I'm trying to learn, but it's tough. I can do it a little bit, but I'm not like, there's like some greats out there where you're like, wow, how do you do that? It's crazy.
Yeah, well, you're lucky to have that in your gene pool and in
Thank you.
your culture mindset, your global memory or whatever. So I would love to
Yeah,
see some, and I know you've
I'm gonna
included
do.
some of it in your music as it comes along, but that singing, boy, I would love to hear you sing like that. I'm just
Okay, I
saying.
got, well then maybe the next thing we do together, I'll try to make sure I put a like a
Hmm.
Persian cover in there or something, or even like in back in the day, I don't know if you've ever seen this, but back in the day, my dad would occasionally come up during my sets with a drum, like a Persian drum, and we would
Ah,
sing together. So maybe I can get him over here sometime to do something with me.
I'm
But
saying, I
yeah,
would
that'd be
love
cool.
that. So your bio tells us that you draw influence everywhere, from Most Def to Stevie Nicks. That's a pretty wide swath right there.
Yeah.
And I hear a consistently truthful and positive message in your music.
Mm.
Is that important to you?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like uh music is an escape for a lot of people, and um though though talking about your struggle is much needed, and it's kind of where my artistry sparks from, uh I think that kind of like a message of triumph has been a theme in my music over the years, especially as I've gotten older and been more on a spiritual path and trying to battling mental illness and stuff like that, and just like trying to get in a better place. For a very long time, I thought that if I wasn't depressed, that I wouldn't be able to make music. Like, how am I gonna? Because this is what I was used to. Like, when I'm depressed,
Mm,
that's where my music stems from. And like, how could I live a life pursuing a career with music where I'm like, dooming myself to be depressed? Like, how do I make music when I'm not depressed? And I definitely want to shout out Swanberger for that, who's the producer of my last 3 albums, a mentor for me, and a big, obviously, probably a lot of people who are watching right now know Swanberger. Soliloquist of Sound. He's like the hip hop dude in Orlando. We call him the mayor. But yeah, just like
yeah.
him being an inspiration for me to be able to say like you can make music when you're not depressed. And it's still a struggle for me, to be quite honest. Like, it's an art that I'm trying to learn. Because when I'm depressed, when I'm going through shit, is when I'm mainly like, all right, I need to let it out. Um, so yeah, I try to keep kind of, even if I talk about struggle, I try to keep a message of triumph, and like there is a light at the end of the tunnel, at the end of the tunnel. So that's, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There, and you know what? I do that too. I tend to write songs to try to bolster myself sometimes.
Yeah.
So these songs that, like, I can, like, even the theme song for this little series is called "On the Verge of a Hopeful Heart," and it's a song that I wrote for myself. Like, okay, yeah, I can do this. I can be okay. I can feel good. I can, yeah. I'm gonna get back up on that horse.
Yeah.
Here we go. Yeah. And then, and when you make that and you release it, then obviously the hope is that somebody else who needs to hear it or needs to be bolstered gets it too. I'm with you about Swanberger. I've been a big fan of him, his music, and his art, and his leadership for a number of years. I mean, actually, he's been kind of a role model for me in leading the Orlando hip hop community and seeing how he organizes and promotes and shines light on different members. I just think he's awesome, and it's not gone by me unnoticed.
Nice.
I think he's an amazing person. I think Orlando's extremely lucky to have him
for sure
as our mayor.
Yeah, exactly. Nice. Yeah, I was thinking like that's an interesting point to bring up too. Like, I guess it doesn't have to be like all depressed and all joy and happy and unicorns and cupcakes. Like there is a in between, and maybe our music is kind of like the medicine, a little bit of like reminding ourselves that hope is there, if that makes sense. It's like kind of like helping you. Your music helps to pull you out of it a little and remind you that there is hope. As
there is sunshine. Yes, there is.
Yeah.
And there are things to be done, more things than we can probably even think of, or we can think of. If you're like me, you can think of more things that can be done than you have time to do.
Yeah, and then you get nothing done if you're overwhelmed with all the things.
Exactly. You like just write a cheer me up song. Uh-huh. So speaking of things being done, you're getting ready to launch a Sunday series as well.
Yes. Sunday 16. It was something that I was doing a couple years ago on Instagram that I was just like, oh, this is a cool, Sunday 16, cool little thing that I could start doing every Sunday. And I just spit 16 bars, a verse over a random beat, and that's it. And all I was doing was just like filming it from my phone, and it was getting a lot of traction, which was cool. And then I kind of fell off, but now I'm trying to, now that I have like a nicer camera and I'm really,
it is nice.
Thank you. Yes. I'm really trying to like get more consistent with content, especially now with everything being virtual, digital, not in person right now. I'm like, now's the perfect time for me to relaunch this and with better quality, video. And it's just something I'm going to start back up pretty soon here. So it's like 16 bars, different 16 bars every week, every Sunday, with a different producer's beat. And that kind of helps to promote the producer as well, and just kind of a community thing. And then it's content,
That's awesome. So in a second, we're going to run the little promo that you have for that.
Yeah, it's like the intro video.
Yeah. And from that, why don't we just jump right into you doing a number for us? Would that be okay?
Yeah. Am I just doing one at a time?
If that's okay with you.
That's fine.
I think like one, then talk, one, then talk, so we stretch it out. So we're going to run the Sunday 16 intro promo. And from that, we're going to hear a performance by UTurn.
I'm the type of person that never like to copy things that are out there. I always like to come with something new, something different.
This is called Being About It.
1, 2, 3, 4. To a path of innovation, I get stuck, and they keep calling it the Matrix. Severed ahead of the patient. Play all on your fears. Cheers. Here's to how far we can take it. Years wasted trying to follow what they built, lock and load, zombie mode, pay bills and waste skill. The fake thrill, get the fakers to fake, we'll get the movers to take pills and the shakers to stay still. The day fills with things we can't stand. Sedate our minds, limit our spans with our own hands. Admire your bands, wishing we was them. The bandwagon got you vibing, but it tastes so bland. Farthest from where the heart is, so hardened by where the art is. Disheartened by a heart, starting back to where we started. Too much delete departed, and they wonder why I'm guarded. Yeah. Speaking my truth and making sure I'm being about it. I'm being about it. All I want is to be heard. Speaking my truth and making sure I'm being about it. I'm being about it. I'm being about it. Deliver the fate of my will. Will never give up, but my ambition is taking a spill. Can't fathom a 9 to 5, seeking guidance from the thrill. Medicated, I see them trying to get me to chill. I see the power that they're trying to kill. I see temptations that they're trying to fill. And all the moments that they're trying to steal. And all the notions that they're trying to instill. Planting visions in my water like I don't know. Cause he'll inevitably fear evolves into something genetic. The simple silence we've allowed ourselves is simply pathetic. I want a future to fathom, a fully different aesthetic. Avoid feeling the pain from all the things we've embedded. Get knocked down and up, the shit's way too hectic. They put a block in the maze, then they tell us to get it. Drain our energy until we're happy to dead it. See them dying off, all the ones who already said it. Our passion is lost and we're distracted by thought. How will I pay my car note and still have money to shop? Never satiated, never know when to stop. Quick to believe it's us, but no, believe it or not, ill at war with the only weapon that I know. So when I speak, I guess I gotta know when to say no. Falling into a low, but I'm still willing to grow. Sick of these greedy people steady stealing the show. Let's go, yeah. Speaking my truth and making sure I'm being about it. I'm being about it. All I want is to be heard. Speaking my truth and making sure I'm being about it. Yeah, I'm being about it. Yeah, I'm speaking my truth and being about it. Yeah, I'm being about it. All I want is speaking my truth and being about it, yeah, and being about it.
Thank you.
Yes, bravo.
How are the vocals? Could you hear me? All right.
Yes, this was a perfect blend. I thought.
Okay,
I thought it sounded really
perfect.
good. Thank
Cool,
you.
thank
And
you.
Lynn is giving us a thumbs up from the back booth.
Awesome.
Shouts out to Lynn Mixon, who is the producer of Swamp
Wizard of
Sistas Month of
Oz.
Sundays. And we've really, Lynn and I have been in touch and working to put things together. She's keeping the flow going. So thank you, Lynn, for all you do. So I kind of skipped ahead because I wanted to get you to go ahead and perform before I made anybody wait too long. And that was awesome. Speaking your truth and being heard, right? So that's what I'm talking about, positive messaging. That's strong stuff.
Sprinkled with a bunch of what the hell world.
Observations.
What the hell life. I just want to shout out a couple people. Frankie Reyes, who's in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Yeah, cool.
And Frankie Messina helping us always with love and shares. He's the best. So
thank you for the claps. Thanks for tuning in, y'all.
Yeah. So the creative types. I know I made you take, or I asked you to take the quiz. I think maybe Lynn will throw up a link. But first of all, let's talk about the 5 creative types. First, we have the A-lister, who loves the spotlight, relies on having an impact and external validation. Applause. I think that we're all a little bit of A-listers, honestly. But artisan is happy to be in the background, focused on the work itself and the process, and gets lost maybe in the work and can tend to forget the world outside, So that's another type. The game changer is the rebel of the art world, looking for new ways to express yourself and reinvent the creative process, just bust things wide open. That's the game changer. I think that's when I took the quiz, that's the result I got was the game changer.
That makes sense.
Then we have the sensitive soul, full of emotion and desiring to express it creatively with the hope of helping others process their emotions. So you can see these are all very positive personality types. And last of all is the activist, who sees wrongs that need righting and wants to change the world through their creativity, like a messaging in their craft that's for the world to see and get on the good foot with, so to speak. So you took the quiz. That's, I think we can share that quiz here in a minute. Link, there it is. What's your creative type? That was put together because Meta Wagner, the author of this book, did a wonderful TED talk, and then they created a little quiz. And I asked you if you might take that quiz, and I think you took it once.
I took it a few times because I was like, "Are you sure?" The first time I did it, though, I got activist.
That's what I thought you probably might be. Then what happened the second time?
Sensitive soul. And then the third time, because there was like a few questions where I was like, I don't know which one to pick. So like I took it a few more times to be like, let me pick the other one that was like right up there with the, just to see. And I got activist first, sensitive soul the second time, and then I got artisan the third time. So maybe I'm a little blend.
You are the perfect blend, which is why you have such a great skill set, diverse skill set. And I do think that we are all blends. It's sort of like,
what's your main one? And then, but everybody kind of probably has a little bit of all of them in there.
A little of this, a little of that. So I'm encouraging everybody to figure out what their creative type is, because what can help us if we determine our creative type is if we can identify what motivates us. And it's like you were saying earlier, like, dang, the only thing that motivates me is depression.
There's a fine line, though, because if I'm too depressed, I don't want to do shit. So
right.
It's like you got to find just the right little space
or when you're just tired of being depressed. That's when you kick in. Like, okay, this is just,
yeah.
So what are some other things that I think you said in your promo video that you sent us, footage, you talked about like the world around you, and when you're on tour and traveling, that you kind of see things and become inspired and motivated. When that happens, are you able to just kind of lock it into your brain and then come home and regurgitate it?
That is the kicker. That's the thing I'm trying to still figure out, like a flow of when I'm on the road, because when I'm on the road, it's just like no extra time. And even when I think there's extra time, there's not extra time. And the extra time I do have, I'm like trying to rest it out because tour is rough. So I'm still trying to find a system that works that I can, because that's when I know that's when I'm the most creative. Like when we're traveling, I'm just like seeing new places, seeing new faces, being in different cultures, atmospheres, especially when I'm abroad. That's when I'm just like, oh man, if I could just sit and record a whole album right now, this would be great. And I've started to make little notes, and like I'll write like a bar or something, and I'll make notes and stuff like that, but it hasn't gotten to the point where like I feel like I'm missing out on so much. I'm like, if I could just sit here with this energy, I'd bang out tracks. And I haven't figured that out yet, but that is definitely one of the times that I'm most, I think, creatively in tune and sparked, is when I'm traveling, especially abroad, and just like seeing all these different things and cultures and way of life. And it's really cool. Yeah.
I agree. The same, I have had the same experience. And I just had an idea that maybe we could try whenever movement resumes, to like build that in, like with that knowledge,
like that being a part of the tour.
Yeah. Like on day 4 of the tour, no gig, no travel,
just recording, or
even just recording, studio time, or maybe connecting, scheduling yourself creative time while you're out there and while it's hot and popping. Maybe it comes with in the planning before you ever even leave home, work it into the schedule. Maybe schedule to go through a town with a friend of yours has a studio, and set up a collaboration. I'm going to be this day, and of course you'll probably walk in and fall on the couch and go, I'm so tired,
I just want to sleep. But there's always coffee, which I'm not supposed to be drinking. This is a problem for me. I was recently, I think I told you, diagnosed with nodules, and I'm not supposed to be drinking coffee, but it's so hard to function without it sometimes.
It is.
Especially when you're doing like a million different things. That's the life of, a musician now in 2020, is like you have to be doing so much different stuff. It's not just the music, it's the business as well, as I'm sure you know very well, Beth.
Painfully well. You have to wear all the hats.
Yeah.
So, hey, would you do another tune for us?
Sure. But yes, great idea. Now, like my gears are moving now. I'm like, all right, next tour, I should record a whole album, like schedule it in, and it be not only a tour, but scheduling, but creating an album while I'm on the road.
That would be awesome.
that would be
Yeah,
awesome.
but just schedule it and don't be too hard on yourself. Don't give yourself time to breathe.
Yeah, good luck. All right.
So what's this next tune that you're going to do for us?
This is called What Is It All For? And this is the one I submitted for the Tiny Desk competition, and they put it on the WMFE local like NPR station. They had like a whole thing for Orlando. But anyway, what is it all for?
Awesome.
Check. I wake up early in the morning, feeling rushed and unrested. Understand it's been years I see my spirit being tested. He tells me to stay positive, quick to get defensive, so I throw on some Deepak, hoping to break the tension. Sanskrit mantras, affirmations, and intention. I'm in and out of hell, but I keep searching for ascension. Deep inhale, exhale, trying to kick my aggression. He's trying to love me through the bullshit, but I keep on flexing. I'm back to writing lists every day of all my blessings, literature and lumosity, and I'm still missing the message, fighting demons in their kin. Hard to weigh the incentive, guess I haven't accepted the loss of all I invested. Fluid affinity, this silent infection, but I stay focused on my patterns, my lyrics and my inflections. Celebrating baby steps, gotta break it down into sections, or I lose reality where insanity is at its densest. Yeah. Look into the sky, asking why I try. What is it all for? What is it all for? Look into the sky. Why? I'm like, yeah. I can't sleep again. Insomnia's in its feelings, at its peak again. Don't really know how I've been dealing, meet defeat again. Then routine becomes appealing, but I ain't with it, so I end up just staring at the ceiling. Overworked, overzealous, and a bit too jealous. They can't find a heartbeat, and they don't know how to tell us. Getting backed into a corner until I'm a cave dweller. Zoning out, envisioning how I'll stick up the teller, yeah, it's true. I'm way past broke, surviving through the month with life hacks and BOGOs. My totem smokes and my spirit guide is a no-show, but riding coats for a free ride is a no-no. They acting woke around the corner, see them side with the po-po. They never show up, but be like, let me know how your show go. All the shit they claiming beast is barely so-so. I know my crew will body him when we at it toe-to-toe. It's like, yeah, look into the sky. Yeah, I'm like, yeah. What is it all for? Look into the sky. Why? I'm like, yeah. What is it all for? Look into the sky, asking why I try. What is it all for? What is it all for? Look into the sky. Why? I'm like, yeah, what? What is it all for? Yeah, thank you. I can't hear you, Beth. I don't know if you're muted or is that on my end?
It was me
Okay,
because
all right.
my chair was creaking during your performance and I wanted to not squeak on your performance. I knew I was going to forget. I'm going to forget to unmute myself.
I always do
Thank
that.
you for...
No problem.
It's better than the reverse of forgetting to mute yourself when you should mute yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
So that was awesome. I really enjoyed that. I'm going to take a second here to thank our sponsors.
Yeah.
Because without them, we certainly couldn't. We just couldn't. Because this month of Sundays is sponsored by New Electric LLC, a full-service electrical company, and our very good friends, Frank and Janet Somos. Whether it's residential or industrial or commercial or technology, Frank and Janet are, somebody type Janet, I type Janice, Janet, are committed to provide quality, value-driven, and personal, innovative service. And you know what else? They're friends of the Swamp Sistas. They've supported our several years of La-La's at Orlando Fringe Festival in a row, and we're very grateful to them for jumping in to help present this. So if you need electrical service, and you want it to be reliable and you want to get entertained in the process, give them a call or visit newelectricllc.com. Another one of our sponsors who's been there actually since the very beginning are our friends at Park Avenue CDs, who have been serving the Central Florida music community since, get this, 1984. This whole project is made possible by a matching grant from the United Arts Central Florida and Orange County government. And with all these groups together, we're able to do this fall programming, which includes this month of Sundays, Swamp Sistas See, Hear, and Say, which is going to happen on Thursday, November the 5th at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So I hope you'll join us for that. And again, I'm very, very grateful to Park Ave CDs. I hope you're supporting them. They're keeping things going over there at the store during this whole pandemic thing. And I'm very proud of how well they've kept their space safe for their employees and for the customers. And I want to give them a shout out for all that they're doing. So please support either online or in person Park Ave CDs. You won't be sorry. I know it's been a challenging year for everybody. So
super shouts to Park Ave from me as well. They're awesome. And even in trying to keep their, business together with everything that's happened, they're still helping the community out. And that's amazing.
Here we are being helped out. It is amazing. And I'm very grateful for their innovation and for their help with promotion and for all that they do. It's been a challenging year. It's hard to believe we're 6-7 months into this isolation, and we're grateful to have the support and to be able to come to folks and still communicate. So also a big thank you to our audience and folks that are viewing today. So we couldn't do it without you to respond to us. So thank you. So this time I think we're going to feature your pre-recorded video. Tell us about this next song, Give It Up.
Oh, okay. The music video. Gotcha. So that video was filmed in Poland, in Krakow, Poland, which is the town that my uncle on my dad's side lives half of the year. So they live 6 months over there in Poland and they live 6 months here in the States. My uncle's wife is Polish, so they have like an ice cream shop in the city center, and it's really cool. I ended up being able to connect with one of like the biggest hip hop dudes in Krakow. His name is DJ Plash, or just Plash, because he's also a b-boy, makes beats, like he's super does all that. He's a straight hip hop head. But yeah, like he commissioned me to do a track with him, which is this track. And then when I went to Europe couple years ago to do some shows and to visit my family, we were able to film a video for it. So that's awesome. What it is. Shouts to B-Boy Choo Choo for doing the video. He's also a Polish B-Boy. He's super sick. But yeah, it was filmed on like an old military base. And we were like filming some of the shots in an old plane, and it was really cool experience.
Well, that's cool. Let's let it roll. Here we go.
3 people are in critical
to gather
condition,
information
but no
about
one
the
was
government,
killed.
to think about it as we wish. Government at times tells you lies, and to publish about the government whatever we want to say. The government needs to be exposed because it cannot be trusted to expose itself. The light of day and the light of truth are the best disinfectants for the government, no matter what it does.
Sister calling for peace.
So, sick of the same old, too many truths untold, but dirty secrets unfold, get bold, and get murdered in blood cold. This blood's old, your whole history's been sold, then burned in a box with it slit in the murder plot. Paid off or put down, plug your ears from the pop. Act like you ain't hear nothing, act like it don't affect your life until you really feel something. Your kid's sick from the death in the water, and father's on meds he can't afford, and neither can his daughter honor. And aims to fit the style and push division even harder. It's hard to make a move, nobody wanna be a martyr. Separate us so it weakens our stance. Get degraded and we help with our hands. Turn our face but jump to meet the demands. The 1% is all that matters, got us deep in this trance. It's time.
The real criminals. Take a look behind the scenes. Dirty politicians. Corruption and greed is cold. Dirty cops. Dirty blocks. Think about it.
Freedom rings, but only in the parallel dimension. Reaching for purpose in a realm of regression and misconception. the way we do it in a hurry, brand new to the slow down. There's no ground. Soon as we start to get on our feet, spin around. So dizzy, so stuck, so busy, tired as fuck, and he get happy with the trigger when he's feeding his flux. Underqualified minds trying to tell us what's up. Gripping on the brains with all these marketing schemes. Only a select few started grasping a theme that had passed in the beams in hopes of reattaching the seams, but they keep taxing our dreams and then react when we scream. It's time.
Take a look behind the scenes. The real criminals, dirty politicians, dirty cops. Fuck y'all.
We need a man to open our eyes. We need a man to make us eat.
Think about it. I don't trust my government as far as I can spit, as far as I can throw a rock. And you shouldn't either. I love my country, but I don't love our politicians or government bureaucrats. Why would I? History proves that people in government the world over are liars, cheats, frauds, incompetents, common criminals, tyrants, and even murderers. Yet you think I should trust them with my phone records, emails, tax records, and health care? Did you believe that?
Yeah.
Well done. Bravo. What great positive, yes, amazing imagery. Now that you told me that the setting, that made it even more intoxicating to watch.
Yeah.
So interesting to see some
Nice.
Iranian
Thank you.
influences tinkled in there too with the Ayatollah.
yeah.
So
For sure.
wow, you know, there's so much that's going on in the world today, and I'm grateful for voices like yours that speak up. And see
Thank you.
see what needs to happen and see what needs to be and how important it is to care and to make a difference. I'm still holding on to my evaluation of you as the activist with a sensitive soul.
Yeah, I'm definitely a sensitive person. I actually had someone, this is years ago. I was not really dating somebody, but kind of didn't go there. But like, I remember they just knew me as like UTurn, the rapper. And then we were hanging out and I was like, all, emotional, sensitive. That's like who I am. And like, I didn't expect you, UTurn, to be so emotional and sensitive. And I was just like, peace, bye.
You can be a sensitive, emotionally sensitive badass.
Like they think that because obviously like from the video, like because I rap like that I can't be, yeah, exactly, that I can't be an emotional sensitive soul. And I'm like, oh well, no.
See you later.
Bye.
Right, that's where the art, I think, kind of comes, the little flame too that makes you want to get it out. So
For sure.
let's see, there was one more question that I have for you, and that is about your touring in the United States and in Europe, and you've shared stages with some very big names. So it seems to me like you have a pretty high profile in the hip hop community. Like they've kind of acknowledge you and have a lot of respect for you. Did you find that at all difficult to gain footing as a woman with a positive message?
Yeah, I
in the
mean,
industry?
definitely. If you listen to a lot of mainstream stuff, you know that the message is pretty different than what I'm putting out there. So just the fact of like, the first thing that comes to mind is being a woman in hip hop is like, our platform isn't as big as it is for males, for men. So that alone is kind of like, there's kind of a preconception of what women in hip hop is sometimes. Like I have heard from males that, and kind of you see it. It's like they don't expect women to be as good of rappers as the men, and that's like a historical thing in hip hop. So for me, I felt kind of a responsibility to really like hone in on my craft and so that nobody could doubt my talent and my skill. So like I was like, no, like, it's not just like, oh, she's good for a girl. Like, you'll hear that stuff. Like, oh, she's good for a girl. Like, she's cool for a girl. It's like, no, that's not what I wanted. Like, no, I'm not cool for a girl. Like, I'll keep up with you. And that was kind of my whole thing. And again, shouts to Swanberger, because he kind of kept me on my toes with that. He's a really dope MC. And like, he wouldn't settle when we were making music together. Like, he wouldn't settle for my okay, like, that's cool, it's good still, but that's not as good as you can be. And he pushed me to be better. And yeah, so that's kind of my whole like movement, is like shifting the standard. It's not she's good for a girl, it's like, nah, that's a dope MC. So yes, it's been a little difficult to even be heard at times, because people they have this preconception of women hip-hop artists or women rappers or MCs. Then also as far as like outside of the platform being kind of, not wide open for us. There was something else I was thinking came to mind when you asked it. What was it? Being a woman and rap. I don't know. Hopefully it'll come back up, but that's definitely, one point to make.
For sure. You can't just be good. You have to be better than good. You have to be the best. So, can't just be good for a woman. You have to be good. And that's kind of been my mantra too with young women that come along that I'm mentoring. I'm like, first you got to get good. You got to get unquestionably good. Yeah.
All the time, practice.
Develop your craft. And then with the development of your craft, you'll have the confidence to present yourself in a way that you can't be questioned, that nobody can say, well, she's all right for a girl, so.
Yeah, exactly. And I've had, thankfully, like, especially recently, have a lot of people, the language has been changing a lot in hip hop. And like, if somebody will say, oh, she's my favorite female MC, and like, that's cool. It's not like I don't get offended with that, but I love when I'll get like a fan or a friend to be like, no, what do you mean she's your favorite female MC? Like, she's a dope MC, so either she's one of your favorites or she's not. And I like have people kind of stand up for me, and I'm like, yeah,
go on. Well, hey, why don't you give us one more number, if you don't mind, and we'll kind of wrap it up. But it's been great talking to you, and likewise. I love getting inside your creative type and your sensitive soul, and I love you.
Oh, love you too, girl. Thank you. Shouts to someone else I love in the room. My mom is here. Hi, Mom.
Aw.
Hi, Mommy.
Big shout.
Now I'm gonna get into gangsta mode.
All right. Go on, you bad dads.
Yeah, Debbie Jordan. That's my mom.
Oh, that's what I thought.
I want to talk my heart out. I want to talk because it's important to talk about how does it feel as a female, as a human, as a being. Everything that is happening is affecting all of us. We're one organism. All of us interrelated. We are living the same fate on this planet. Don't be afraid of feeling the pain.
So swipe right to the wayside. So used to the fake vibes, never get a chance to connect to the main line. Stay tied to the surface, make right, but it's worthless. Undermine what your curse is. Some emotionless scenes, cut shows over with the curtains. Get jacked with your purchase, give back when the purge hits. Quick jabs on the purpose, let it speak, feeling weak forever, foraging for fervency. Couldn't fathom a new earth could be. Holding on to the old tricks, never learn new. Can't take it, snap, murder, flee. Run away from the mess we inherited. Misinterpret how to live and they scare us in. Sway from the roots, try to go and grow somewhere else, still ashamed of your heritage. Shift innocence, blame love, denying the burden we bear within. Risk our lives every day on the way to slave in hopes of a fair spin. We feeding the machine, greed, fear, avoiding the bees, bleed, spear, ripping the seam, seems fair. Not what it seemed, we there, sporting distorted reports, chasing more than we need. Sorted distortion and gluttonous portions are itching and pushing to feed. They cringe at the culture, been jotted like vultures to slaves and a soldier. The climate is colder, we're finally folding. What stance are you holding? What truth are you molding? Tune into reality, let it paint the picture that was sad to see. Bitter after the repercussions, giving into exactly what we're battling. Yeah, no time for the so fake we can hate, so far we can hate. No time for the so fake we can hate, so far we can hate. No time for the no time for the hate. fake shit. No time for the hatred. Nah, nah, no, 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 no. No time for the hate. So fake we can hate. So far we can hate. No time for the hate. So fake we can hate. So far we can hate. No time for the. No time for the hate. No time for the hate. No time for the fake. No, no, nah, nah. No time for the makeshift. No time for the makeshift. Yeah. Undivided, redivide, we divide. Yeah, we're providing an alliance to the rival. When inside we know we should rise. See defiance and defiance. No more silence, silence down to a science, and round we go. Intermittent ties to our past lives, lacking our movement, stacking our 2 cents. No push, wait for a handout, get stuck, wonder why. Why? Eyes feed lies, stabbing at our hearts like 1,000 knives. Always never act, just a glance into our true mind, lapse in time. Left brain, right brain, dialogue, argumentative, cognitive, dissonance, crash is imminent. Where's the medicine I've been looking for? No more, but then no more pacing. Piece the top floor, leave the small talk at the door. War, conquest, famine, and death. What's left in this frame? Inflamed from cutting corners, trapping tricks in the brain. Maintaining illusion about who's inflicting the pain. Undermining delusion, move on with sickness ingrained. Ancestral oppression coursing through our veins. There's more to us than status. Remain conditioned and tame. Labels on everything, tagging what depths in a name. Intention is queen, the strongest piece in a game. Yeah, no time for the so fake we can, so far we can. No time for the so fake we can, so far we can. No time for the no time for the hate. No time for the fake shit. No time for the hatred. No, no, nah, nah, no, no. No time for the so fake we can, so far we can. No time for the so fake we can, so far we can. No time for the hate. No time for the hate. No time for the hatred. No time for the fake shit. No, no, nah, nah. No time for the makeshift. No time for the makeshift. No time for the makeshift.
Thank you.
Excellent. Bravo. Bravo. Bravissimo.
Thank you. It's still so weird to not hear an audience.
It's
I'm getting kind of used to it, which I don't know if that's good or bad, but
well, I think it's good because you're building your skill set in different facets of the career, and being able to communicate beyond a face-to-face scenario is certainly helpful. But it is that's one thing I really miss is the energy coming back from an audience. It's been
totally
always been a two-way trip, and having your flow go out and having nothing coming back in to energize you it makes you have to try harder. But hey, we can do it, right?
Yeah. I like how you worded it though, just like it kind of forces you to, broaden your skill set on the things you can do, and that's good.
Yes, there's always something good to be found if we look hard enough, I guess.
Yes, I agree.
Trying to be the optimist. But hey, thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you so much for
legendary
having me.
UTurn, the second week of month of Sundays. We're very grateful to everybody for watching. And for those of you who have chipped in with a tax-deductible donation, we're very grateful for that too.
Yes.
You can follow the Swamp Sistas on all of our social media, and UTurn also. Next week will be week 3, and we have Hannah Harbor, who's going to be joining us. And Hannah is a beautiful soul. Also, I'm curious to find out what her creative type is going to be. And she has been an active Swamp Sister for, I don't know, as long as she's been in town. Her husband, Thomas Wynn, introduced us when they were still just engaged, and she just came to town. And I was like, oh, I like this young woman. And she's been active in, like, UTurn has always been a yes for any ask, hey, Hannah, we're raising money for Second Harvest. Can you come down to the food bank? We're up for a volunteer night and give us. Oh, yes. Can you come down to? Oh, yes. Always a yes. I'm grateful to you for that, UTurn. I'm certainly
grateful to you. Thank you so much for having me. You already know I'm down. I'm Swamp Sister for life.
You are. You
Hey.
are. And I love you for it. I do. Good luck with your 16 Sundays. Is it 16
Sunday 16.
Sunday?
Sunday 16.
Sunday comes first. Everybody check on that on Instagram, and we'll look forward to seeing you back here next week with Hannah Harbor. Peace out. Y'all be good. Look at me being healthy.
Bye.
Peace out. Okay.
Peace out. Peace. Deuces. Thanks.
Oh, like, what is that?
It feels like I'm on the verge of a hopeful heart.
Bye, folks. See you next time.